Zandavi. Uh, Hello, everyone. This is Rachel Kulei with Rising Warriors. And tonight we're doing something different and special. We're going to do storytelling. So I'm affiliated and enrolled with Northwest Band Shoshone. I'm also Nez Perce. And many of you that are native know this, but many of you that don't know that are non-native, during the winter time is when we get to tell our stories. So tonight I have Rochelle Kulei with us, and we are going to listen to her tell a story. So take it away.
Thank you, Rachel. I just noticed that we have this similar names. I'm a Rochelle, you're a Rachel, and we both have the middle name or last name Kulei. That's very interesting.
Hmm.
So, okay. So I'm going to tell a story. It's not officially winter, but it sure has been feeling that way here in the Great Northwest, and it's been very cold and where I want to sleep longer. And 8 o'clock is too early, it feels like now, and I want to just keep sleeping and snuggling in bed. But that's not how it is at this moment. But maybe down the road, I can do that. Um, but I want to share a story. There's so many, but this one is not, and I can't tell you exactly what tribe this story originates from, but I do remember I am hearing it from some of the. I went to a storytelling association, and they shared the story and gave us permission to share the same story. But he was from the Northwest coastal tribes, and I can't think of it at this moment, but eventually I'll remember probably after this, and then I'll probably post it to your
In the link
Facebook and the
section.
links. Yeah. So, so as you know, the tricks. Well, first of all, everybody got their coffee or their hot cocoa or hot tea,
I've got
um,
mine.
and get your pajamas on. So my mom would tell me when she was a little girl. On the reservation, everybody would gather around my great grandfather, and he would tell these stories, and they'd all sleep, all the cousins, everybody slept, would come over and go to the house, and they'd all sleep on the floor, and then they would listen to him by the wooden stove, and they would just, he'd tell stories all winter long. And how amazing, how amazing would that be to be a part of that? And by that time, when I was growing up, we didn't get that, and because our reservation was actually burned, and so then everyone was dispersed into the cities and different locations. So, what a beautiful tradition and culture! And so I'm privileged to be a part of that, and would love to share. So, when it comes to storytelling, there's always lessons to be learned from them. And sometimes they might resemble or represent who you are as a human being or what you're going through. But also, there's stories to be funny. There's stories about nature and why they behave the way they do. So, nature is always our lessons. They teach us ways to be living and how, so we, to really focus on their teachings. And it, like the bears, they need to be hibernating, we need to slow down, we weren't meant to be these amazing creatures and keep going 24/7. I think that's one of the lessons I feel like COVID is that COVID's teaching us lessons: slow down and settle down, focus on what's important, and that's our families and our friends and loved ones. So, with that, uh, I have a story, and it's about the Ijapa, which is the coyote, and the uh, gamush, the rabbit. So, in different cultures, the the coyote and the rabbit are actually both tricksters. But the coyote in this story is the one that always gets tricked by the rabbit. So one day, the the rabbit was preparing down the gully, and he's down below preparing um, and making this twine up in the tree, and he's sewing this bag, and kind of like he was creating this bag, to so you could tie a rope around it and then go up into the tree like he was creating a trap. And the coyote has been trying to catch him for a long time because he is so tired of being tricked by the rabbit. And the coyote's like was walking up on top of the ravine, and he looks down and he sees the rabbit. He's like, oh my gosh, I've got to catch that rabbit for once and for all. I need to catch him. I'm so tired of his tricks. And so he went down and crawled slowly, watching, and went in circles, and then quietly creep up on, and he went to the rabbit. Aha! I caught you. And the rabbit goes, oh, me? Why me? What do you mean? And the rabbit said, and the coyotes, I finally got you. I finally have been able to catch you, and you're mine, and I am going to do away with you. And the rabbit goes, oh no, please. There's about to be a big storm coming about, and I can't have you do that right now. I'm in the middle of making this bag here, and that's going to protect me when the wind comes. It'll just blow me back and forth, and I'll be safe. And the coyote's like, what? Yes, didn't you hear there's going to be a great big storm, and we got to prepare for the storm. So come on, help me. And the coyote goes, I don't know about this. I don't know if I could trust you. And the rabbit goes, you know, like you when you're a child, you're like, I'm sorry, I'm not tricking you, I promise. Coyote's like, ah, oh, fine. So what are you doing? Well, he laid out this big fabric on the ground. He goes, what I was going to do is I was going to sit in the middle, and I was going to gather the fabric above me, and I was going to tie it up and try to pull on it, and then I'll pull myself up the tree from inside, and then I'll be safe when that big storm comes. And the coyote's like, I don't see a cloud in the sky. What are you talking about? Oh, I promise you, it's coming. You've got to prepare. You can't always depend on the clouds and the weather. You got to know these things. I know, I can feel it in my bones. There's a storm coming. Do you want to be first? Because, you are important to the community. Would you like to be first? Well, yes, of course. I'm very important to the community. Yes, I'll be first one. I ought to be the first one. And the rabbit says, okay. And he goes, what about you? Oh, don't worry about me. While you're up in the tree, I'll be making one for myself, and we'll both be up in the tree, and we'll be safe from the storm. And he goes, okay. So the rabbit, he gets in the middle of this big fabric, and the rabbit goes, now don't be alarmed. It's going to be a little dark, but it's going to be okay. And he goes, okay. So he's like bundled up, and then the rabbit pulls up the fabric, and then he twines it up with the rope and makes it nice and tight. And he pulls it up into the, close to the tree, but he's able to swing. And the rabbit's like, okay, so you're up, so we're gonna be safe, all right? So, and the coyote goes, okay, all right, I'm ready. And he goes, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in the middle of making mine too. I'll be there in a minute. And he goes, okay, you're gonna be safe? Yes, 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 yes. Still, there's not a cloud in the sky. And the rabbit starts laughing. And he gets a big branch, like a long branch, and he has it in his hand. And he goes, oh no, the wind is coming. And then and he's swinging the coyote back and forth and back and forth. And he goes, oh, the coyote's like, oh my gosh, that's a horrible, horrible wind out there. This is going to be a horrible storm. He goes, yes, hang on. And the coyote's go, how are you doing? Oh, I'm a little scared, and I'm going to be okay though, but I'm swinging just as hard as you are. And he goes, yes, I'm just swinging fast. What's going on? It's a horrible, horrible wind. And the coyote's running back and forth with the rope, back and forth, back and forth. And he grabs the branch and he hits him like a piñata. Boom! And the coyote's, no! Ow! Ow! And the rabbit's, what's the matter? What's the matter? Well, there's branches flying all over the place, and it's so windy, and they're hitting me. And goes, oh no! And the rabbit goes, ow! 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 And oh, please be careful, rabbit. And so he's swinging him back and forth. But the thing is he swung too far out that it broke the branch that he was swinging from, and the bag opened up, and he looked, and there was no storm. And he goes, oh, you did it to me again. I can never trust you. And the rabbit starts laughing, and then all of a sudden the rabbit took off, and the coyote chased him, and you could see them up in the ravine running and running, chasing each other. Finally, the rabbit got away, and the coyote was so furious. And he's like, I will never, ever trust that rabbit again, ever again. And so one day, as he was walking across the field, he looked over and he saw the rabbit. So he crawled down silently through the brushes of the grass and going through silently, sneaking up, and he grabs him. I've got you once and for all. You are mine, and this is the end of you. And the rabbit, no, not today. And he goes, why not today? Because I have this big hole that I'm digging out. And why are you digging a hole? Well, there's going to be a flood, and I thought if I go in that hole, I will be safe, because maybe and I'm going to put the blocks around the hole, and then no water will be able to get in, and I'll be safe. And the trickster is like, this doesn't make sense. I don't understand. He's going to drown in the hole. I don't get it. And the trickster goes, I'm not falling for that again. And the rabbit's like, but I'm telling you the truth this time. There's going to be a flood, and I just want to be protected. And so I'm going to build this hole, and I'm dug it deep enough for myself. Do you want to come in with me? No, I'm not falling for that again. And he says, please, just come with me. I'll build you one, and then I'll build myself one. Is there really going to be a flood? Yes, I heard about it. All the animals are talking about the flood, and that we need to prepare ourselves and get ready. And so I'm doing that right now. And he's like, I think I better trust this, just in case. And the rabbit goes, it's not deep enough for you, so why don't you get in it and start digging a hole deeper so that it's safe for you? And so the coyote jumps into the hole. He digs. And the big hole, and making sure it's big enough for him, and then it's deep enough for him to be protected. And he shovels, and the rabbit, and pretty soon he's really deep, and he goes, okay, well, get me out of here so that I can get the things prepared. And the rabbit looks down, he starts laughing, he goes, sucker, and he runs and he takes off. And oh my, to this day, you will always be seeing the coyote chasing the rabbit because he's so furious. He's always tricking him and he's always falling for it. The end. Oh,
Yay! That was a good one.
so don't be the coyote or you could be the rabbit, either
You be
one,
the
but
rabbit, the wabbit,
the rabbit.
the
So
wabbit, the
it
wabbit.
kind of reminds me, I could see a Bugs Bunny show from this. Always tricking the not the roadrunner, but the coyote, Wile E. Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days, those cartoons for some of us old people.
I still
But
watch it. So
thank you. I could share some more later, and you guys can get prepared and get ready for bed, and you can snuggle up with your blankie. And for those of you who are night owls, this is like a good time to be beating while you're listening to these stories. So
doing something.
yeah. So thank you for inviting me. I love sharing stories.
Well, thank you for being on, and I always enjoy hearing stories. And to everyone else, stay tuned for more storytelling coming up through the winter time. I'll be having some more people from the Native community coming on and sharing stories, as well as Rochelle Kulei here, my mother. Um, so thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a good night and take it easy. We'll see
Good
you later.
night.
Good night.